Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are analyzing the game between Grandmaster Wesley and Grandmaster Magnus Carlsen played in Oslo Chess Tournament. Here, the tournament consists of 8 players. In initial rounds, each player will play with each other with white and black pieces. So player to first score 1.5 score will get a point, and other player will lose. If the game remains tied, then there is an Armageddon. So let's start the game. Okay, before starting the game, I'm going to tell you that the Wesley beat Magnus Carlsen in the first game. So this is the game. If Magnus loses, he lost this round to again Wesley. So let's see the game. Wesley opens with the d4. Magnus responds with knight to f6, c4, e6, knight to c3, bishop to b4, queen to c2, d6, knight to f3, knight to d7, and e3, and b6. This is Indo-Indian classical variation. So now bishop to e2 is played, bishop to b7 is played, castle, and knight takes bishop. Now queen takes bishop. Now knight to e4, attacking the queen. Queen to c2, and just simply f4, f5 by Magnus. Magnus wanted to attack this king side, so he can later bring his king here and attacks this king. So Wesley plays d5. Now here the correct move is e5, knight to e1, g6, and just simply f3. But instead Magnus took on the e takes d5, and now Wesley is simply better. Now Wesley played knight to d4. Now Magnus captures the pawn. Now this pawn is under fire. This pawn is under fire, and also there is a knight can jump to the on the e6, attacks the queen, and also attacks the pawn on the g7. So Wesley plays knight to e6, and now queen to c8 is played, and just simply f3 is played, and now king to d7 is played. Wesley took the pawn, queen to f8, knight to h5, and simply knight to the c4 is played. Wesley took the pawn with the queen, and now knight to the e5 is played, attacking the queen. Now queen to the h5 check, king to d7. Now the b4, trying to destabilize the knight, and now knight to e6 is played. Now bishop to b2 is played. The idea is to exchange this powerful knight, and this rook is also under fire. So Magnus plays queen to e7. He gives offer to the Wesley to exchange the queens and go into the end game. So Wesley accepts the offer, and now king takes queen, and now f4 is played, as this rook is undefended. As if you move this knight anywhere, you're going to lose an exchange here. So now if you look closely, this bishop is hitting the g2 pawn. So if you bring this rook here, you can attack this pawn, or either you can bring this rook. But now this rook is under attack if the knight moves. So Magnus moves the rook out of the danger, and now the Wesley plays knight to g3, and now just simply Magnus gives up the exchange. Pawn takes up the here. Magnus gives the exchange because Magnus is Magnus lost the first game with the white pieces. If this game ends in a draw, Magnus is going to lose this round against Wesley, and even if this game ends in a draw, is the loss. So the only way to win against Wesley, Magnus has to win this game. So the best practical chance is to give up the exchange. So let's see how it turns out to Magnus. Now the knight to the g4 is played, hitting the pawn. So now Wesley eliminated the knight. I just simply pawn takes here. Here there is another interesting line. This is also okay. Now bishop takes f3. Now bishop takes f3, g takes f3, and knight takes e3, and rook f2. Okay, but this is also okay. So now, sorry guys. No, sorry. Bishop takes g4. Now pawn takes bishop. Now the f5 is played to attacking the knight. Knight moves out of the danger. Knight to g5. b4 is played, trying to, in case of the Magnus attraction, the pawn Wesley can end passant. So Magnus plays the a6, and now Wesley responds with the a4. In case of the pawn takes, you can take the pawn, or you can also move the pawn forward. So now knight to e4 is played, hitting this weak pawn. Wesley plays the a5, and just Magnus simply captured the pawn here. And now rook to e1. This is a mistake. The correct move here is you should have to play f6, and after f6, king has to move the king to f7. Now you go rook f d1. Now b takes a5 has to be played. Now you play b6, and now simply you have to play rook to c8 here. Now bishop takes c1, rook takes c7, and now rook takes pawn. And this is better for white, as his pawn is weak. His pawn is weak. His pawn is over f6, which is protected by the bishop. If the rook try to come to this, you can give the check and take this bishop. So it is a very good position for white, and also king can come to the h2 to attack the knight. So instead, Wesley plays b takes. Instead, Wesley plays rook to e1, which is inaccuracy, and now Magnus simply eliminated the pawn. Now Wesley plays the f6, checks, and now just simply king to d6, and now rook takes pawn, and just pawn takes pawn. Here Wesley can took the rook, then bishop takes rook, but then Magnus has disconnected passers, which is technically very scary. So Wesley says okay, no thanks. So he exchanged the pawn here, and now bishop to e4 is played. Now the knight is placed here, bishop is here, and the rook is also strong. So now rook to a1 is played, giving Magnus offer to exchange the rook. Magnus declines, as exchanging the rooks is a draw, and draw doesn't good for Magnus. So now after rook to c8, rook to g5 is played, and now after rook to g5, now simply h5 is played, and just simply rook to g7, hitting the pawn, and now just simply knight to f4, attacking the rook. So Wesley moves the rook out of the danger, and now simply rook to b8 is played, attacking the bishop. So Wesley moves the bishop out of the danger to the c6, and now c5 is played. So king to h2 is played, and now h4, rook to h7 is played, h3, and now check, king to d5, now f7. This f7 is a mistake here. Now the Magnus is completely winning. The correct move here is you just have to challenge this rook. You just have to chase this rook here. And chasing the rook is the only way here. So instead, Wesley plays f7, and now Magnus is completely winning. You can pause the video and try to find winning sequence for yourself. Okay, the winning move here is to simply knight takes rook, rook takes knight, and just simply pawn takes pawn. And now this is a completely winning position for Magnus, as now after rook check, if king to g2, rook h1 check, and it's just simply winning. So this is a best try to Wesley is to exchange his powerful bishop. King takes bishop, and now bishop to g7 is played, and now king to f3. Here Grandmaster Wesley resigns the game, and Magnus Carlsen wins the game. So now here the reason Wesley resigns the game because here let's say you try king to after king to the f3. The reason Wesley resigns the game because, and now this is a completely winning, as if you may make the queen here, you just have to simply exchange to the queen, bishop takes rook, and now just simply king to f2, and this is promoting to the okay, you don't have, you will play this and just simply check. That's the checkmate. So thank you guys. This is a rapid game, so I didn't explain all the lines here. If you like the my analysis, you can subscribe my channel. Thank you guys.